A lot of strawman attacks tonight against magic Jew blood, feigned outrage about how much money for your kids you have to give up to Jews who reject Jesus, and claims about protecting an ethnic group of people's existence, meaning supporting a blasphemous antichrist, none of which were brought up by AP or logically or intrinsically follow. Meanwhile, biblically, we see God himself set up.
So for this video, we're going to see Andrew Wilson ask if Israel is the church. Get your popcorn ready for this one. This one is a banger.
And set apart Israel for his glory. And we see, open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of those who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and needy. Proverbs 31, 8 through 9. So my question is, based on these things, if you believe in the sanctity of the lives God created, how can you attack the primary group who is speaking up for their preservation when the things that you claimed, such as ushering in the Antichrist, the prophecy, does not logically follow?
Yeah, so first of all, my job here tonight is to make logical arguments as to whether or not there's an ought or an ought not. What if Christians must, they have some moral obligation to support a political ideology, right? I granted AP's definition. I've been very charitable. I granted his definitions, I've granted his numbers, I've granted everything and showed that they still don't falsify the actual position. The reason I utilize the idea of magic Jew blood is so that he could say, yes, this is above Orthodox Christians. Do you, ma'am, do you believe that Israel is the church? Do you believe the church is Israel?
Interesting.
I don't know how that's relevant to supporting an ethnic group to
Can you answer my question?
Thank you. It's not
But my
Can you answer my
question
question?
is
It's not
about
because-
supporting the
Oh
life
my
of
God.
an ethnic group.
I already
So that is
established-
irrelevant to my
Did
question.
I answer your question?
No.
I answered it. Yes, I did. Can you answer mine? Is Israel the church?
I believe that the church that is with Christ are the branches that have been grafted on to the natural-born olive tree.
AP, though, in his religious belief, and in mine, we believe that the church is the Israel which is being referenced.
Interesting, the scripture that she just quoted, or not the scripture, what she said about the branches on the olive tree. Let's go back, because that's very interesting.
Onto the natural-born olive tree.
AP,
Wait,
though,
gotta go back a little bit.
is Israel the church?
I believe that the church that is with Christ are the branches that have been grafted on to the natural-born olive tree.
AP,
Interesting. Interesting.
though, in his religious belief, and in mine, we believe that the church is the Israel which is being referenced. He believes that too. That's part of his faith. Hang on. That's part of his faith. So when I'm making, hang on.
When it's
Can you
against
let
what
me
he
finish
says.
my point? What does not exclusively mean? It means also, yes, I do, but. It means, yes, I do, but. A qualifier, great, but he does.
And, all
He
Christians
has to.
believe that.
Yeah, okay.
All Christians believe that.
Can I finish?
Let me clarify one thing here for you.
I'm not-
Hold on one second. I do want to give
Yeah,
a
stop
chance to finish.
filibustering me,
Okay, sure,
AP.
go ahead.
Let me finish the damn point.
Go ahead.
So anyway, back to this. By his own faith, he believes that Israel's new church. Me and you are talking past each other. Me and AP are not. I'm falsifying his direct ideology, not trying to falsify whatever yours is.
You're making a false.
Okay, then who's the church?
Here is the issue, Andrew. Do you acknowledge?
Yeah.
Do you acknowledge that according to Romans 9 through 11, and according to Orthodox teachings, there are two Israels here. One would be the natural Israel, and one is the spiritual, or also called the true Israel. Do you acknowledge this?
Well, let's define.
Seems like things about to get very interesting now, because this is so fascinating to watch this video without agreeing or disagreeing with any of them, and you will see the truth. The truth is just right there. It's so funny, man. Wow.
Real quick. So
Do you acknowledge that there are two Israels, the
depends.
natural
Yeah,
Israel
yeah.
and the spiritual Israel?
yeah. So if they're saying what is natural Israel?
It's right in the scripture. I
Tell
quoted it
me
through the
what
entire
the
time.
Orthodox Church position is. on
This
that.
is the Orthodox Church position.
What is it? What is natural
You
Israel?
find it in the Orthodox Study Bible. The natural Israel are those who are of the tradition of the Jews and the descendants of the Jews for their forefathers, who may or may not have accepted Christ. Whereas the spiritual Israel
Is
are
the church.
those who have accepted Christ
Is the church.
and who are the church. There are two
Okay.
Israels.
Now I understand.
Two Israels. Do you
Yes, yes.
acknowledge that there are two Israels?
Yeah. So, which one were we talking about? What question I asked her? Who's the church?
Do you acknowledge, Andrew, that there are two
Even
Israels?
if I grant it, Who's the church?
Can you answer my question?
Who's the church?
This is
Can you
interesting.
answer my question?
I
Do you
did.
acknowledge?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I do. Okay, there are two
Now,
Israels.
who's the church?
I mean, I like Andrew Wilson. I mean, I like pretty much everyone. But the way he's conducting himself to be kind of childish, and he built up a little ego. I don't know if this is how he was in the start of his career, but the gestures and the little hink and kink there's kind of an ego there that I'm seeing. There's kind of an ego. I wish him well. I want him to just be aware of that, because that same ego will and can destroy you. That's all I'm saying. Just want him to know that, but I wish him well.
Church.
There's two Israels.
Who's
You acknowledge.
church,
Fantastic.
Ruben?
So when it talks about them being enemies for the gospel's sake, but still beloved by their forefathers, which Israel is this, Andrew?
So who's the? Okay, I answered your question.
Answer that question. Which
Okay,
Israel
well,
is
give me the
this?
question again,
to
but
be
I want you
fair-
to promise
to be fair, Andrew did answer
sure,
one.
sure.
I do want
Promise? Sure. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure.
Okay.
When Paul talks about how they are enemies for the gospel's sake, but they are beloved for their forefathers' sake, which Israel is he talking about?
Well, in this case, it's the natural.
Thank you. And that's the one that
So-
this promise is about.
So hang on. So who's the church? Hang on. So who's the church?
Israel.
The church is Israel?
Yes.
And so when I told her that you believe that the church is Israel, I was accurate, right?
This is what.
Ruben, just answer the question.
Yeah, but that's not relevant.
Okay, thank you.
But-
Holy
that's not-
shit.
that's
Had to
not
do
relevant.
all of this to get the answer from you.
That's not relevant to the issue because
It
we're
is
talking
relevant.
about the natural Israel.
It is relevant.
I mean,
It's not referencing.
It is definitely relevant to the conversation, because she came and asked a question that is not in sync of what they were debating, right? But you can see, I think Andrew wanted to point out something really interesting here, because he kept asking, who is the church? I don't know if Andrew's gonna answer this question, but it's interesting to see him ask that question.
Natural Israel.
She clearly mentioned the natural Israel. That's what we're talking
No,
about.
I told her that we're referencing
Until
who
just
is the
now.
church.
Until just now, you
I
didn't
do
even
want to-
acknowledge
oh my
that there's
God.
natural Israel.
Getting
I wanna move forward.
answers out of you is like pulling teeth.
Didn't
We have a question
grant
for
that there's a natural
Apostate
Israel?
Prophet. We have a question for you, AP.
Sure, go ahead.
So Andrew mentioned earlier that he believes the religious Jews are the ones who reject Jesus, but I wanted to get your viewpoint on this since you guys clearly differ on some things. Would you agree with him that the religious Jews are those that reject Jesus, or instead those that actually accept him?
Sorry, I didn't understand the whole distinction.
So Andrew put forward
This is an
the
interesting
idea that
question.
religious Jews reject Jesus. I'm asking you if you would agree with that position, or if you would instead believe that the religious Jews are those that do follow Jesus. Thank you.
So, all
This is
those who are
interesting
Jews,
question.
all those who are Jews by flesh, all those who are Jews by tradition, who reject
Wait.
Christ.
Let's go back to her
those that
question.
do follow Jesus.
Let's go back just a little bit, because this is really, really good that you pay attention to what the question is.
Reject Jesus, or instead those that actually accept him.
Wait, I have to go back a little bit.
Andrew mentioned earlier that he believes the religious Jews are the ones who reject Jesus, but I wanted to get your viewpoint on this since you guys clearly differ on some things. Would you agree with him that the religious Jews are those that reject Jesus, or instead those that actually accept him?
Sorry, I didn't understand the whole distinction.
So Andrew
Wow.
put forward the idea that religious Jews reject Jesus. I'm asking you if you would agree with that position, or if you would instead believe that the religious Jews are those that do follow Jesus. Thank you.
So,
It's an interesting
all those who are
question.
Jews, all those who are Jews by flesh, all those who are Jews by tradition, who reject Christ, would be considered the Jews and of the natural branches of Israel. That is literally what Paul says. And then there are also those who he says not all are Israel. The true Israel are then those who accept Christ. So this is where the diversion comes in. And by the way, he is trying to make it look like this is just Orthodox theology. It's not. It's literally in the Bible. This Protestants teach the same thing. Catholics teach the same thing. Orthodox teach the same thing because it is in the Bible. He didn't even just
Exactly.
only just acknowledged He only just acknowledged that it might be true that Israel is also the natural Israel. You know, the people of
Because I'm looking
Israel,
at it
the
from the
Jews.
view of you, Ridvan.
I do want to jump. I do want to jump to the next question. You've been on this one for a while.
Andrew.
Yeah, your view depends on you,
It
Ridvan.
doesn't depend on me.
Your view depends on you specifically,
The
Ridvan.
Christian.
I need to do this, folks, but
This was an interesting part of the debate. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. I don't know if I want to put my 2 cents in on this one because a lot of question was not answered, like who is the church? They answered it, but is that really the answer, that Israel is the church? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about that one. And if the original Jews didn't accept God, right? What I think this was the lady's question. I'm trying to fully remember her question. If the original Jews didn't accept God, but the one that are branched, the one that accept God became Jews, who are really the Jews? Isn't that an interesting question? But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I won't answer any of this question because it's interesting to just sit back and watch and not really have an opinion, and the truth will just be clear. It's fascinating to me, and this is something I've learned recently. Right? It's called neither agree nor disagree with anyone. Do that throughout your day. Because when you agree with someone, you're missing the entire picture. You think you know what's happening, but you really don't. And I've used this for when I'm watching a movie. And this is a movie that it's a show. I've watched it before, but I already did pick a side. And by picking the side, you get the message that you wanted to see, right? The message that you wanted to see. That's what you saw. But after I went back and I'm watching it now, and I'm picking no side, I'm not identifying with anyone. I'm just watching it and I'm paying close attention, just having a way to see. Things was just very different from what I thought that I knew, because you already pick a side and you think you know, but you really don't know, which is interesting. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this video. It was interesting. Very interesting video.